Slow Living Autumn Non-Negotiables. So I know I did a video back in the summer where I did summer non-negotiables, but there's something a little bit more special about autumn. I think autumn has actually, or fall, whatever you want to call it, has definitely sparked slow living in me way back before I even realized what slow living was or that I was on this journey. I was pretty much in my younger teen years, and there's just something about autumn where I have always wanted to slow time down. I've always wanted to stretch these few months that fall within the fall time. It's always been a time of the year where I've wanted to literally slow everything down, absorb the time as much as I possibly can, and embrace everything that is associated with the season as much as possible. So this goes all the way back, and I talk about this in my Slow Living Autumns guide that I did a couple of months ago. So if you want to check that out, it's going to be in the description box. But I just love autumn so much, and there's so much magic to it. There's so much to enjoy. There's so much to embrace, and I love to talk about seasonal slow living because autumn has definitely taught me that seasonal slow living is very accessible. It's something that you could probably do and you don't even realize that you're doing it. Like I said, I was doing it since I was a teenager, and I love sharing that with other people because I think it's a really great way for people to get started in their slow living journeys if they aren't really sure where to begin. So in this video, just like the summer video, I'm going to be talking about 5 non-negotiables for my autumn. They're very unique to me, very individual to me, so feel free to kind of take them and interpret them the way that would fit best for you, but let's get right into it. So my first non-negotiable is making space for creative endeavors. I've talked about this a lot over the past couple of months, but I am in a huge creative peak right now, and I've noticed that that happens every single year, year over year, around the end of August into September, the Burr months, and I know it's definitely associated with cooler weather, with autumn approaching and things like that, so I know within myself that I just get a lot more creative and a lot more inspired during this time of year. So going forward, because I feel like in the past few years I haven't really been doing this, but going forward from this year onward, I am going to dedicate a lot of time to creative endeavors. If you've been here on the channel since the beginning of the year, I had goals to do a lot of creative projects, at least work on one art piece per month, and I've completely neglected that up until this point. But now that is all I can think about. That is all that I have been spending my free time on, and it's just a fantastic feeling. I want to live and settle into this feeling as much as I possibly can, and so that's why it becomes a non-negotiable for me. I am so excited for all of the creative projects that I've been working on. Not just like working on the canvas like I talked about 2 videos ago, and some projects for like home decor type of things, but also getting out and learning more. I want to go to art museums in my area. I haven't visited one museum in my neighborhood or in my area since I moved to a different state, and to me that's just wild. So I'm going to try to do a lot of that this season, and I'm so excited. My first visit is going to be at a local art museum that is dedicated to animal art. Amazing, because I love doing pieces that are animal based, but that sounded weird. Pieces that have animals as the subject. But yeah, that's definitely a big one for me this year. My second non-negotiable is annual traditions. So I have been doing these traditions for many years, and we did not start doing these thinking that it would ever become traditions, but during this time of year we do a lot of specific things, and when I say we, I mean me and my husband Ian. So for example, during October time we dedicate a weekend where we do pumpkin picking. We find a pumpkin patch, we go pumpkin picking, we hang out, do all the fun things there. Then we get soup dumplings for lunch afterward. Very specific. It's gotta be soup dumplings, not any other kind of dumplings. And then we'll head home later in the afternoon and carve our pumpkins while watching our favorite horror movies. It's very specific, but we do this every single year, and we've been doing this every single year, I think, since we've lived together, which has been, I think, since 2014. So it's almost coming on to 10 years of an annual tradition, and I love it so much. Every time we do it, I have so much joy, and it brings me back to so many different life stages. Like I said, we've been doing it for almost 10 years. So it brings me back to all of those stages, and it's so nostalgic. It's such a good feeling. It really helps time slow down in such a simple sort of activity or series of activities. So that is just one example of several things that we do during this time of year. So I'm excited to continue that once again this year and for as many years as we can possibly do them. All right, my non-negotiable number 3 is celebrating life, and celebrating life in ways that are unique to us. Again, us as in my husband and I. The reason why I say that is because I don't know if you knew this, but in September, it's my birthday. In October, it's Ian's birthday. Our wedding anniversary is on October 1st, and then we have a bunch of different like celebratory kind of events going on throughout September and October. It's a busy month for us, so we obviously love to celebrate life during this time of year for obvious reasons. And we like to do celebrations that are very unique to us, meaning we don't usually have big parties, we don't have big celebrations, we don't have huge gatherings and things like that. It has just never been our style. We like to do little, quaint, chill, and intimate things that we are just vibing with during whatever year it is. So, for example, last year I was really wanting to just sit outside in the backyard and have a really good bowl of ramen for my birthday. It's simple, it's super simple, but it was a huge thing for me because we, for many years, for the entire amount of adult years where we lived together, we didn't have access to like our own backyard. So now that we do have our own backyard, and we were just like finishing up some like pieces last year where we were able to sit and enjoy outside, that was a big thing for me, and I wanted to be able to do that, sit out there basically and embrace that season in our life and have a really good bowl of ramen during my birthday time. So that's exactly what we did, and like I said, there are other celebrations, so we do other things, but that was just one example. And it's just a bit of proof to show that we do things that bring us joy, even if it doesn't make sense to other people. I think that's super important, especially in your slow living journeys. I have had people reach out to me and say like, I want to be on the slow living journey, but I don't want people to judge me. I don't want people to make fun of me for doing something that, I don't know, I guess people would make fun of. And my answer to that is to just do you. That is more important than anything else. And once you get into the habit of prioritizing yourself and your joys first and foremost, you'll start to realize that nothing else actually matters. And if there are people that are judging you based off of that, you're more than likely not going to be in contact or close contact with that person for much longer, or you'll learn to create boundaries so that, you know, you can let them in whenever you're feeling comfortable and what have you. But yeah, that's a really big one for us, particularly during all of these different events that we have this year or every year. Okay, non-negotiable number 4 is, I'm pretty sure this was in the summer non-negotiables as well, but it's particularly important during autumn time, getting outside. So you all know, if you saw that summer video, I'm not a fan of warm seasons. I do not like it, and I actually did that video on my summer non-negotiables to kind of help me enjoy summer more, because I have historically like hated it, just everything about it dislike. So now that we're in the cooler seasons, we're starting to get into the cooler seasons, I can now head outside and embrace what I actually love about being outside, which is cooler weather, the fall foliage. I live in Northeast US, so the foliage in this whole entire area is gorgeous. And again, cooler weather. I cannot emphasize that enough. It's the best. I swear something lights within me whenever I head outside and it's cool. I can wear a sweater while I'm going out for a walk. It's the best feeling. So I want to be outside and enjoying that as much as possible. Some ways that I would love to do that is just, again, sitting outside, having dinner, sitting by the fire. We've been doing that already. Going to the park and taking a walk or taking a run. Going for a hike. Like I said, I'm very close to hiking trails. Things like that. Or just having activities outside, maybe picnics, maybe gatherings outside. We did a Halloween party last year and it was mostly outside. It was a fantastic time. So things like that. Ways to embrace this cool weather as much as I possibly can before it gets a little bit too cold, so it's not nice enough to kind of like hang out there. that is definitely what I'm trying to do. And I highly recommend you giving that a try if you're not used to being outside when it's cooler. Just put on a couple layers more than what you're used to, and I promise you, there's nothing else like it. It's invigorating, honestly. Okay, and the last non-negotiable is probably the funniest one, the silliest one, but for me, it's important, and that thing is soup. I am such a big soup girl. Like I said, I wanted ramen for my birthday last year. I love all sorts of soups. Just put a bowl of soup in front of me and I'm a happy person. And to be honest with you, because I cook meals for Ian and Ian's not really a big soup person, I end up not making much soup throughout the cold seasons, and it's really sad because the cold seasons will come and go. I'll have these ideas in my head like, I'll make soup this week, and then I end up not doing it, and then the warmer seasons arrive, and then I realize I've only had a couple of bowls of soup for this entire cold season. It's actually heartbreaking. So I want to make it a non-negotiable this year. Whether Ian likes it or not, I'm gonna get him to learn to love the art of soup, and I'm going to have lots of soups this year. I'm so dedicated on doing that. I want creamy soups. I want like vegan broccoli and cheddar soup. I want ramen. I want like new soups I've never had before. There's something super comforting about it, and I want to just enjoy that as much as possible. Oh my gosh, I haven't had pho in so long, and I've been seeing a lot of people enjoying pho. I want that. I want that so bad. So that is my last non-negotiable, and although that sounds silly, it's one of those things that brings me so much joy. So it's really important. And if we're talking about slow living and little things, this is actually not as silly as you think. All right, friends, that is all for this video. I hope these non-negotiables were interesting, insightful. Maybe it gave you a little bit of a bird's eye into my personal life. I feel like they were much more personal than the summer ones, particularly because I'm not a big summer person. But I also hope you're able to take these ideas and interpret them in ways that make most sense for you. So while they're very, very individual to me and my family, I think you can find ways to take the concept of these 5 non-negotiables and apply it to things that are really, really personal to you. And I really hope that you're able to do that. Do some reflecting, take a few minutes on a quiet day and really, really think hard about these non-negotiables as we head into autumn. I'm really, really excited for you. I'm excited for you to enjoy this super, super magical time of the year, whether you love autumn like me, or maybe you're learning to love it the way that I learned to love summer this year. But either way, I'm here for you. I'm excited for you and your slow living journeys. Let me know where you are in your journey in the comments if you feel comfortable doing that, or you can always DM me on Instagram. I know a lot of you do that, but thank you so much for being here, and I will talk to you in next week's video.